again, YouTube. We're at it again today with the TrailBlazer LTZ. So today we're going to be firing a parts cannon at a 2002 Chevy TrailBlazer. The owner wants 4 ball joints put into it and a set of rear brake pads. The last time I did ball joints on one of these, it didn't go so well. It actually needed control arms. So we're going to make sure before we start putting any parts in exactly what we need. There's Detroit brake pads. Those are for the rear. X6663, these are the lowers. X6664, these are the uppers. Probably came from Amazon. And doing a quick little scan on this. Sorry about the glare. But gonna have to address a few of those, including the evap. The rest of it, I'm not so sure what's going on, but we'll look into it. So, while I was getting this thing up on the jack stands and getting ready to pull the wheels off, the owner came by, paid me a visit. He brought me by another set of brake pads. These are for the fronts. So, he loves to fire the parts cannon, but I just called him back and told him he doesn't need these. These he might need, but not these. So we'll see that in a second. Somewhere along the lines, I lost one of my hubcaps. I'm not happy about that. So let's get this wheel off. Now with the front wheel off the ground, you got your weight of your suspension pulling down on your upper control arm. Take a bar, in this case my jack bar, put it over the control arm and into the spring, and pull down on it, and see if you can get any movement in the ball joint like this. I'll move over here so you guys can see this. Not a lot, but a little. So that's an easy one to replace, so we'll be doing that one. The bottom one's a little trickier. Get underneath it with the bar, pull up on it. I can feel a little bit of movement. Reach around, put my hand between the knuckle and the lower control arm. You can hear it. You barely feel it, but it's getting a little sloppy. No, my gun didn't suddenly become super powerful. I already loosened these up. This thing doesn't have the guts to pull these lug nuts off. Pull the tire back. Stuff it underneath. Somebody's already been in here. We got a brand new tie rod end, brand new cotter pin in it. Didn't put the cotter pin in right, but that's okay. Brakes don't look too bad, but they're at a point where they're thin enough that I'm not really sure how much is there. I think we might only have 1/8 of an inch, in which case we will put the new front brakes in. Check the sway bar length right here. Let's get underneath this bar, pry up on it. Seems pretty solid that way. Find a spot down in here. Uh-oh. We got movement right here. Just a hair in the top. There's plenty of movement there. That'll make a clunking noise. So we'll tell him that he needs to add that to his ammunition. Inside of the caliper looks good. The boots are all good on it. No tears, not crusty or cracked. And it's one of those aluminum ones, super lightweight. Just wrapped it around and set it over here. This thing literally weighs a couple of ounces. Got a spring up in the top of it that may or may not be correctly installed. Yeah, it is. Okay. It's an anti-chatter, anti-rattle clip. It keeps these brake pads pushed downward. And I can tell you right now, this thing from this side doesn't look like it needs new brake pads. Those are nice and thick, nice and evenly worn. Same thing with these. Nice and thick, evenly worn. So let's get the other wheel off and make sure that that side is just as good. Get over here, and I see that. What the heck is that? Let's set you down right here. Get you a little view over there. There you go. Now I got you a view. The inside of it's still clean. So this was done recently. There's no dirt on that. The grease is still there. See a little rat hole. Ugh. Welcome to the salt belt. These brakes are looking fairly decent. The little thingy right here is a little blade on the inside that turns the pawl back and forth. And unfortunately, half of that little tab is gone, so sometimes it misses. Push this brake line down, get it out of your way. We're gonna get that pawl going the right way again. Trying to smack anything with the wrench. Tells me the pistons move okay. They look pretty good. Gotta remember clean these off a little bit. And where can we stick this one? Gonna go grab the hooks, but well, here's our brake pads again. Nice and thick. So somebody already put brake pads in this. Your outer tie rod ends, both sides. But both of these ball joints are fine. There's no movement in anything over here. The tie rod ends are good except for that boot. Let's check this real quick. Get you turned a little bit here. Oh, there we go. We got movement in the bottom one. You can see that nice and easy, maybe. Well, maybe not. But we got movement in the top one. And the movement in the top one almost looks like nut movement. No, those nuts are staying right there. But this bottom one, see, I'm going to get you guys a different angle here so you can see this. There you go. Get in here just like this, and pry up and down. And really very little pressure. You can see the caliper moving up and down because both of them. Alright, too much fun with that. Let's not forget too, while we're here, double check these. Well, they both move okay, but this one doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it's got enough grease in it. Either that or the grease that was in there just never got worked around. But it's not breaking seal. That one did. They're just starting to get a little corrosion around the edge. Little telltale signs of rust on the inside, so I'll clean that one out, put some fresh grease in it. At the same time, we might as well get this one taken care of as well. This one here, the grease is clean, but not a lot of it. This one here is all metal pin. That one there's an all metal pin. Well, since we're not going to be doing anything with the brakes, or re-grease the pins. So we don't have to do anything more over on this side until we've got the boot for that rack and the sway bar links. So we'll put the wheel back on for now. Top one, get this one out of the way. See, that looks like a 14 on one side, 15 on the other. Good thing that when the local Sears was closing up, that I went down and I bought literally as many of the 6-point wrenches as I could find. So I happened to have a 15 millimeter. 15. I don't know why 15. I also picked up one of their ratchet wrenches too. So I'm going to go grab a different wrench to do the double wrench with. Or actually, no, I can just do this. Ha! I got my other socket wrench right here. And this, oh dear. Probably should soak this with penetrating oil first. Yeah, I think I should probably hit that with penetrating oil first. That does not look like it's going to want to move. And while I'm at it, if you're one of these guys that does this with cotter pins, take some advice. Don't do it. People get caught on these things. It hurts. Pull the cotter pin all the way in tight. Take the longest of the two legs. Pull the longest of the legs all the way up and over the bolt. And just pat it down. Take the lower one. Give it a little twist. And just bend it off to the side. You know, it doesn't have to be fancy or anything like that. Just get it to where somebody's not going to snag it and get hurt. Beginning to think this collection of SAE standard tools that I've got probably all going to end up being used for double wrench method only. Wow. Probably should put this on a breaker bar, but power of the double wrench method and a 6-point. Okay, now the other side's turning. Saturated everything with penetrating oil because we're going to be pulling out the snap ring and moving a lot of parts around in here, so. Watch out for flying wrenches. Think I'm going to have any problem getting a pinch bolt out? Not at all. Of course, the amazing thing is, like I said, I saturated everything. with penetrating oil. Look at the threads of that. The threads are dry. Keep the bolt in there until you have detached all of your ABS wheel speed sensor, because when this comes undone, you're going to give this thing a yank and that'll break the superfine wires inside of it. Now with many of these, you can just put a small screwdriver into them. And get into the clip with a little screwdriver and just give it a twist. Tricky part is figuring out which part to get underneath. And you can pull it out. Same thing with the rest of them. Unplug the sensor, pull back on the little clip. And pull the plug out. No green crusties, we're good there. And then get behind this one, and usually just light pressure, pull up on it, and it'll pop off the little plastic piece. Snake this up and through, out of the way. Now what I like to do with these, give them a little shot in the on position. Probably should just work on one at a time, but more time for oil to soak in, and then go into loosening, and they come right out. Now it's not rusted up too bad. And that releases the bracket that holds our brake line. It also holds our ABS. You want to get the ABS out of that bracket. Just squeeze the little tree and work it down through. Now that that's done, lug nuts, everything else off. Screwdriver back out. Now we can get back to that caliper bracket. Take the caliper. Set that off to the side. Time being, just jam it in the little space you can find for it. Pull it out of here. The rotor off. Rotor's in decent shape. Yep. I don't know if that bearing feels okay or not, but we'll find. We'll figure that out if it's the axle I feel binding or. Alrighty. Now this ball joint's already been replaced once. There's a circlip on it From the factory, they come pressed in and peened. So somebody's already had this one out, so hopefully maybe that'll make this job a lot easier. Now we'll try to get this in an angle where we can pop this apart, show you guys how it's done the easy way. Turn the steering wheel back somewhat straight. Might not be perfectly straight, but that's centered underneath the middle. Somebody wicked over greased that tie rod end. Get that bottom nut removed. Somebody put that on awfully tight. So what we're going to do now is we're going to spin this nut all the way down to the end, but not all the way off. I really want this thing loosened up first. So we want to make sure we can spin this off by hand after we get this ball joint cracked loose. So grab the ratchet. Now, I don't think this will fit in here. No, it won't. You spin it in and out a couple of times with that, but see how that works. Set it right here down level with the bottom of the stud. Now the trick is to find a device. Let's get this turned again. Find a device that you can sit right in here. Just got to fill that space. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. Something like a good size socket will do it. I mean, anything that'll fit in here. That socket's just a little bit too tall. But anything that'll fit in there, snug. Got another idea that might not work, but maybe if we put it in sideways and put it in that way, maybe. Yeah, that might work. Set it right there. That might work. We'll find out. Get your helmet and your safety squinch ready, because if this thing does go flying, it'll probably come out like a projectile. Get your jack right underneath that stud. Just like that. And now, hold that centered and start jacking that up. Hasn't started to tighten up yet. Now, there's a little bit of tight. All right, let's see if this pops it loose. I'm getting nervous about this. There we go. And I think that popped it, but I'm not 100% sure. Yep, that popped it. Alrighty, that made life fairly easy. Now, did any of you guys see where the socket went? Now, whoever called out that it's underneath the jack, good eye. Alright, now we got our axle loose. Don't have to worry about popping that out of the transmission. Let me go get a hook to hook the end caliper and bracket up so we don't end up dropping it and snapping it on anything. Where do we want to hook this? Because we're going to be taking this whole knuckle out. I don't want to get this all twisted up. Let's hook it right here. And let's see. That right there should do it. They're up out of the way, no strain on anything. Now this nice little cotter pin that we bent down out of the way, so nobody gets hurt on it, I gotta undo it. Kind of straighten it back out a little bit. Once you get it straightened out pretty good, it'll go right back through with no problem. Now we don't want to destroy this one either. This one, I can feel the castle, the ridge is snagging on it. I don't know why. Turn around, put it back on upside down. There we go. Well, it's super important that we can get this back off by hand. That couldn't have gone any easier. Get the tie rod end out of the way. Castle nut on it so you don't damage the threads or lose it. And the nut back on the bolt. Set that aside. Normally that particular pinch bolt is recommended to be replaced. I don't know if we've got one with the new ball joint or not. Tap the chisel right into the middle of the slot. Just a little bit. Don't need to tap it in there a lot because you could actually break these. That loosens it right up. Okay, this is where you want to grab a hold of the control arm and make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. Already got the snap ring off the top one. Take a wire brush, clean it all up. Alright, now, make sure your ABS line is wrapped. It's not going to get snagged on anything. The axle moves nice and easy. Flip up, take off the nut on the bottom, lower it down and off, and there's your knuckle removed. Feels a little stiff, but that's okay. Oh, how do you like that? and inner boot just popped right off. One more problem.